Shalom Akim, Shalom Akwathiam. Call Halal Yahweh Bahashem, Yahawashai Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 1, and it reads, I will stand upon my watch, and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Verse 2, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Recently, within the past few days, I had to do some traveling for work. And, what it did, it provided me with a substantial amount of spiritual insight, if you will. Yes, it took me out of my rhythm, out of my groove, but, through the Spirit, I was able to see how this beast system is already, the infrastructure is already set, all right? Okay, the MOTB, all right, that's outlined in Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 16th through the 18th verse is coming. For those of us who are of the hopefully elect, we know and we understand this. That MOTB, that RFID micro C-HIP is on the way, okay? Now, after I attended this meeting, let me say this, there's a number of things that's on my mind to say. I heard the word digital tracking a myriad of times, maybe around about 5 or 6, maybe about a half a dozen times or so. But I want to share a few experiences, and I got a few articles that I want to go into, and also, of course, more precepts to further substantiate the point, all right? Because as we all know, those of us who are for the hope of the elect, this business is for an appointed time, all right? But even though it tarried, to wait for it, even when I considered, as I transitioned from, plane to plane and what have you, they've already implemented the digital ID and also facial recognition. I even took one photo here as I was getting ready to board another plane. And even though I gave the TSA representative, my ID, he still had me scan my face. But nevertheless, I'm sharing these things with you to further substantiate. This is all gradualism to get the masses prepared. So when the mandatory implementation of the MOTB is forced upon the masses, they are going to take it. And why am I saying that? These people enjoy their lives, man. All right? Okay? This is going to be extremely convenient. Let me come from this here. A few articles that I want to point out here. This is from November 7th, 2025. And I'll read links in the description so you can read more of these articles in your own time. And it reads this. This brain implant is smaller than a grain of rice. And I made mention of this several videos ago. By the time the mandatory implementation of the MOTB is forced upon the masses, this thing is going to be extremely small, all right? It's going to be unnoticeable on your body, okay? All right? Let me come from this here. And again, I'm just want to touch on these articles very briefly. Again, I'm going to leave them in the comments section. In another place it reads, and this article here is from November 5th, 2025. It reads, brain micro C-HIP, smaller than a grain of salt, sends data using lasers and satellite technology. You see, this is Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 16th through the 18th verse, coming into fruition, okay? As a matter of fact, let's go there very quickly, all right? This is Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 16th through the 17th verse, and it reads, and he, who is the he? Esau, Edom, the Edomites, the elites, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor. It's talking about everyone, all right? Every single person on the planet, except for the hope of the elect, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, that RFID micro C-HIP, in their right hand or in their foreheads, all right? Remember, they already created this micro C-HIP that's smaller than a grain of rice and smaller than a grain of salt, all right? Continuing on with verse 17, that no man might buy nor sell. And you have to understand, when you're going into buying and selling, it's going into dealing business on any form or fashion in your daily transactions and also in your daily commutes, getting on planes, buses, paying for gas, just your daily comings and goings, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, all right, or the name of the beast or the number of his name, which is basically going into 666, that Chi Psi stigma, all right? Let me come from here. And brothers have gone into the Chi Psi stigma, and you can look into that, look up those videos and delve into that topic too as well. But something else we were issued in this meeting, that they continue to mention digital tracking that they're going to implement by way of various devices, that we also were issued the dot business cards. Now look at what the dot business card is all about. It states this: a dot business card is a modern digital replacement for traditional business cards that uses near field communication. The acronym for that is NFC technology, or a QR code to instantly share contact information, social media links, and other digital content. Remember, all of this is part of that conditioning. All right. Okay. Continuing on, users can customize a personal profile that is accessed by tapping the card on a smartphone, or the recipient can scan the QR code on the back, eliminating the need for an app on the recipient's device. You see, it's all part of that preparation, all right, for the conditioning for the masses of the people. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 18, verse 3. And it reads, "As surely as I live, declares the sovereign Lord, you will no longer quote this proverb in Israel." And what proverb is it referring to? What the MOTB is, or what some say it isn't. Some say it's sin in all its forms. Some say it's Caesare Borgia. Some might say it's an embargo or sleeping with white women. All of you are wrong. All right? Starting with our beloved elder apostles on down, we have been teaching that the MOTB is the RFID micro C chip. This is why continuously in every lesson I have these photos queued up, because we can't talk about it enough. All right? That's why the scripture tells us, as the hope of elect men, to give them warning from me, declares the Lord, because we get and keep the blood off of our hands. All right? And all these companies, these organizations, they're all intertwined with one another, all right? And the government, okay? They know they have their marching orders, okay? Let me just touch on this very quickly too as well. The airport digital ID, that's big now. And what's that? A digital ID at the airport allows travelers to use the smartphone or other digital devices for identity verification instead of a physical ID. That's happening right now, okay? All right? Let me come from this here, and I'll finish in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, and it reads, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false." Remember, as I said before, we serve a power that it is impossible for him to lie. All of these prophecies have to come into fruition. Let me continue on. "Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." Let me read that again in the New Living Translation. This vision is for a future time, and it's an up-and-coming prophecy. It describes the end and will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently. There's another scripture that comes to my mind, just roughly paraphrasing. It tells us, "For in our patience we possess our very souls." All right? The hope of the elect, we're longing for the second coming of our power, YAHAWASHI, but also we're waiting patiently for him. For it will surely take place, and it will not delay. And I hope that this quick lesson through the spirit and the power of YAHAWASHI, it has been edifying. Shalom.
Thousands of people in Sweden have received a microchip. I've been hearing about this since I was 12 in 2012. At that time, I'm sure a lot less people had received this microchip. That's supposed to be the size of a grain of rice, or even smaller, I think they've said. But now apparently a bunch more people have received this microchip in Sweden, of course. And like I said, when I heard about this in 2012, I was certain that this would be linked with the Mark of the Beast technology at the very least. What's taking place in Sweden right now and what's happening across the whole entire globe, the entire world, for those people who don't believe it's a globe. It's biblical, it's prophetic. We're watching a push for a one world government, we're watching a push for a one world currency, and ultimately, there will be a push for a one world religion. According to my analytics, there are some people who tune in, and they are in Sweden. So if you are in Sweden and you've seen what's happening over there firsthand, please feel free to express at your own volition what you've experienced in Sweden, what you've seen. I'm sure we're all interested too.
When Elias Brodberger goes to work, he doesn't need ID, and he doesn't need money. In fact, much of what he needs to get through the day is hidden right there, just below the surface, in his hand.
You want to touch it?
Yeah.
No?
Oh, weird. Yeah, it's like a grain of rice.
Yeah, grain of rice.
Embedded in his hand is a microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
Yeah, it's all on chip, so I use it like to get around the building.
Buy snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's buy some snacks. So I can't open it.
No. So what I need to do is I need to First blip my chip, and it will log me in, and from there I get access to the bench.
Popular TV shows like Black Mirror have imagined chips as part of a dystopian future. Install in-grain procedure with local anesthetic and you're good to go. In Sweden, the microchips are already here.
The microchip implants use the same technology that's in contactless credit cards.
Which have made cash pretty much obsolete in Sweden.
No cash.
At this tech fair, a chipping event for those on the cutting edge, merging their hands with this new technology.
I thought it would be fun, right?
The process is simple and swift. A pinch of the skin, and in a matter of seconds, the chip is inserted. The transformation is complete. As for the pain,
I barely felt it.
but even in this nation of early adopters, not everyone is racing to get chipped.
Feel less human. I would feel like a robot. I think, so much more data can go into this, and it's in your body.
There's no central registry tracking how many people are chipped, but biohacker Hannah Swellblood estimates between 5 and 10,000.
In the future, do you think everyone is going to be chipped?
I think it'll be voluntary, but I am certainly convinced that millions of people will find it very, very valuable to have a smart device under their skin.
Human microchipping may be our future, but in Sweden, it's already reality.